right, so 1 minute late. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get everything sorted here. Can everybody hear me? Are we good? If you can hear me, go ahead and throw it in the chat. All right, so we're good. So it's been wow, 60 days, 2 months since my last video, and a lot has been going on, and a lot hasn't been going on. I guess I got into that mode of, you know, you miss 1 week of doing something, and then that turns into 2 weeks, and that turns into 3 weeks, and then a month, and then it's hard to get back into the groove of things. And then my job was all over the place for a while. So Sebastian, thank you. Greetings from Germany. Yeah, we're doing great over here. Actually, I'll be in Germany in October. We're going back October. I think we're going to be there from the 8th through the 21st. And in that time, probably that first weekend, so whatever that first weekend after that Tuesday when we arrive, I'll be in Berlin for a couple days. I'm going to take a trip by myself up to Berlin, probably that Friday through Sunday. There's another guy that's on YouTube here that's an American that lives in Berlin, so we're going to hook up. Maybe do some video together, but I'm looking forward to that. So if any of you happen to be in Berlin, I will be there, let's see, August, September, October 11th through the 13th, most likely. I'll probably get up real early Friday, because it's about a 7-hour drive from where my wife's from, down near Kaiserslautern, and so 7 hours up there. I don't want to turn around and have to come back the very next day, so I'll probably stick around all day Saturday and then leave Sunday sometime. So anybody who's up there in Berlin, let me know, and maybe we can hook up, grab something to drink, show me around a little bit. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, everything's fine. It's just, you know, I had brain surgery in February. I can't believe it's been 6 months. On Wednesday, the 14th, it'll be 6 months since I had, if you can see my horns, my little horns, and then the this line here, if you can see that, that's actually the wires from here going down my neck into this battery pack right here. So here's the wire right here. Actually, it looks like a vein, but that's actually the wire going up the back of my neck into my head. But as you can see, I don't know if you've seen, obviously you've seen some of my other videos where, you know, I'm doing this number. I don't do that anymore. It's so wonderful. So I took a lot of time to recover from that. I do have I got a little bag here for the device. Basically what it is a Motorola phone, and then this little piece here, I connected Bluetooth through this, and then this I can control. I'll connect it so I can shut it off, I can turn it back on, I can adjust the power, and then I have a sleeve like this, and this is the piece that actually wirelessly charges. If I don't throw everything on the floor. So this fits down in here, and then I'll put this around my neck, make sure it's over the battery pack, turn it on, and then I can just sit here, watch YouTube, watch TV, whatever, and I will charge wirelessly. But that's super cool. I do it about once a week. I find that if I don't turn this off at night, which the doctor at first recommended that I do, mainly because one, I don't need it while I'm sleeping, and two, it will save on battery. But what I found is that the battery, I'm still charging. If I shut it off every night, I gotta charge like a week and a half. So I'm not gaining a whole lot of time. And then just the process of turning it on and shutting it off and turning back on is kind of a pain, since I get up, I get ready, and I go to work, and so I don't worry about it. So I just charge it once a week, and that's okay. Yes, Dully Dust. The surgery went very well. Good evening, Jacob. And I'm healing nicely. I do have, like I said, you can see my horns. My mom has nicknamed me Hellboy. I don't know if any of you have seen that. But, he got his horns chopped off. So that's her nickname now. My scalp is still numb from right about here to right about here. So this strip right here is still numb to the touch, and it's been 6 months. But those nerve endings will start to grow back and reattach and do whatever they do. But it itches sometimes, so the doctor said that's the nerve endings healing. But it is, especially when I shave my head, it's really weird because I can't feel the razor right there. And then shaving around this, I mean, that's a large bump, so I gotta kind of be careful shaving around that. But yeah, surgery went really well. I'm super excited at the results. I've been painting minis. See my little mini painting station here. So I've been painting. It's not gonna focus. There we go. Minis. So I don't shake. I got a nice steady hand for the most part. There's still a little bit there, but not nearly what it used to be. Yeah, I'm gonna have some badass scars. I mean, I got enough of them already. What's a few more, right? Yeah, the 2024 version of the $6 Million Man. Hellboy. Yep. The one thing... Yeah, pirates attacked you. Make sure you change the story each time. Yes. Very good. Very good. So, one thing that I haven't experienced yet, but I will actually on the 23rd, because I'm taking my wife. She's out there, so I don't want to talk too loud, but I'm taking her to a concert for her birthday, which is next week. So the 23rd, I'm taking her to go see I completely spaced out on who. Anyway, we're going to a concert. So one of the things with this electronics in my body is metal detectors. So that'll be the first time I'll have to tell them, hey, I don't want to go through the actual metal detectors. You're going to have to pat me down, because, not that anything would happen. I just don't want to risk it. It could shut the system off. It could change the power. Who knows? So better to be safe than sorry. Def Leppard. That's who we're going to go see. Def Leppard, Steve Miller Band, and Journey. So the 23rd, next Friday. So that'll be interesting to see how they react. Typically, it's fine, and all I have to do is say, "Look, I got shit in my head, so I'm not going through the metal detectors." And then, of course, through airport security and all of that. But so besides that, the job that I have now it's pretty easy, but it's pretty hectic because I'm the assistant manager, and then we have a manager, and we're the only two at the warehouse that we work at. And so, for a while there, I didn't have a manager. It was just me because the manager quit, and then we had somebody higher up come and help me out. So I was working 14, 16-hour days. So that really took a lot of time away from me. And now not this coming week, but the week after, he's actually going to California for the week to help out there because their manager left. So it's going to be me again, working those long hours. And then in October, we're going to a 7-day operation, and I kind of got screwed over on the schedule. I will be working every weekend. He's going to work Monday through Friday, and I'm going to work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, which sucks bad because my wife is a teacher. Weekends are our only time off together, and now we won't even have that. I'll have Tuesday and Wednesday off. I'm not looking forward to that. I just keep telling myself we have less than a year, and then we'll be in Germany for good, and I can worry about things then. I'm hoping to use the company I work for as a transition over there because it's Maersk, so it's a Danish company. They're global, they're in Germany. So hopefully I can find something and transfer over there, and then I wouldn't have to worry about finding a job or doing whatever. But even if that doesn't work, the plan is for us to still move next summer. It would just be a lot easier if it was through a company because they have an outstanding relocation package, so I wouldn't have to pay for the move, which would be great. So that's still in the works. Kelly, you've seen all of them. We're excited. We're excited to go see them. But then next month, I'm gonna go see Lord of the Lost. So anybody in Germany, you've probably heard of them. They're one of my favorite. They did this last what was that competition, the Eurovision, right? And I think they're hilarious, but really good, really great music, and he is so talented. So I'm gonna go see them with a buddy, and then the day after that, he's taking me to go see Falling in Reverse, Tech 9, and somebody else. But I'm pumped about that. I mean, the last 2 years, I've seen more concerts than I have in my entire life. I'm not usually a concert person. One, because I don't like crowds like that. Two, I don't like driving in that stupid traffic, especially when you're leaving and everybody's trying to go the same direction. I can't stand it. But you only live once, right? And do it. I took my wife to see Elton John. That won't happen again because he doesn't tour anymore. We got to see The Cure. That was really cool. So a lot of these, it's a once in a lifetime. I got to see Metallica. That was my favorite band growing up. Not so much anymore. I think they suck. But they played a lot of their old stuff, so that was cool. So yeah, that's gonna be a fun time. Sebastian, the new Picasso, huh? I don't know about that, but it is nice to get back into things that I could do when I was younger, paint, draw, write, and I can do that stuff again. Yes, I hope I will hang on for a lot longer too, and thank you very much. Yeah, my parents came down for the surgery, so they were with the first surgery. It was two separate surgeries, once for the head and then once to put this in, but they were down for the first one. Yeah, giggle snorters. They just went downhill. I don't know. Ever since I got rid of Jason Newstead, just done. Slightly right of center politically. I appreciate your commentary, and I actually agree with you around 95% of the time. Well, I appreciate that. I mean, we all have our opinions on everything. Doesn't mean one side is better than the other. Although here, one side is better than the other. Not gonna lie. I've been talking about channels, political. I've been watching a lot of political stuff because if you aren't in the United States and you haven't been following, it completely got flipped on its head. So Biden stepped down from re-election. Vice President Harris has been nominated. I mean, she's going to be the formal nominated, whatever, however you say that, for president, and they are steamrolling through all these rallies. They were actually here in Phoenix on Friday, her and Walz, Governor Walz, and I thought about trying to go, but it was already closed to tickets and whatnot. So for the first time in probably 8 years, I seriously feel hope for this country again, and hopefully the momentum can keep going. I mean, based on previous reaction videos, you all know where I stand really politically. I think politics in general and the government in general is corrupt 9 times out of 10. I don't trust many of them at all. However, the right side, MAGA people, it blows my mind, the things that they say. And one thing that really irritates me, and I don't know why people on the right don't see this, but there's no talk of how they're going to fix things. All they do is bitch and moan about how broke everything is. Well, that's fine, but how are you going to fix it? That's what I want to know as a voter, as a citizen. How are you going to fix it? I don't care that you're repeating the same talking points over and over and over about crowd sizes and whatever. How are you going to fix the problems? How are you going to make my life better? And they don't do that. The left does it a little bit more. I wish they would stop the constant attack back and forth and explain how they're going to fix things. That's what we need to know. So, not to get too far deep into everything, but yeah, I think it's hilarious. Everybody's freaking out. So regarding reaction videos, another reason I guess I haven't done a whole lot lately. I haven't found anything worthy really of reacting to. You know what I mean? I don't want to put content out there that's just blah. I don't know. Maybe in my mind, no content is better than bad content. And it's hard for me to find reaction videos or videos to do reactions on dealing with Germany or some European country, because I've lived over there. Nothing. I don't want to say nothing is shocking or news to me, because I don't know everything, obviously, but where a lot of these reactors come in and they've never been to Germany, right? So when they find out, the Autobahn is some big thing, to me it's no big deal. It's not. So I don't feel like I should react to things like that, because it's like I've driven on it hundreds of times. So it's not, it's nothing new. The culture's nothing new. The things not being open Sunday is nothing new. So the countryside is beautiful, but it's nothing new. So I don't know. I'm trying to find videos to react to that would be a true reaction, and it's been pretty difficult. So I haven't put anything out there, just because I don't want to put something out there just for the sake of putting something out there. So if you guys have any ideas or video links or something that you think I would like to react to, please share them. I thought maybe I could do reactions to the political scene that's going on right now, but again, I want to make these videos for people to want to watch them, and I don't know, it's just the Germany ones are just hard to find anymore, unless I even thought about reacting to a reaction to see how funny it was, because some of these videos of the person reacting to something is so over the top. I'm like, are you really that shocked? Is that honest, or are you playing it up for the video? You know what I mean? And I never want to do that. I never want to be that person to fake a reaction. So let me see what kind of comments are coming through here. Yeah, I hope for the best for everyone over here too. It's going to be a long time before things get back to some sort of normal. Yeah, I think a lot of people around the world are really paying attention to our political situation over here, because it's going to affect more than just us. Obviously, politically, the United States is, powerful, and depending on the direction it goes could really dictate other countries and the direction they go, or our relationship, our allies, NATO, all of that. There's a lot at stake with this election. Yeah, and I think Dustin, as far as being right of center, you said you're not an American, but I feel like our left is still pretty right in some countries. You know what I mean? So what you would consider being left would be like way left over here. I think it shifts a little bit. So our right is more like others center, or even center left. It's not, it's not one-to-one comparison, you know what I mean? So a lot of these folks here that complain about the radical left, which just drives me nuts. There's the radical part. There's nothing radical about any of it. But their minds would actually be blown if they went to another country who was even farther left, than our radical left. But that's normal. Oh, yeah. It makes me shake my head. Vinicio, I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Yeah, reaction videos on the U.S. So I could do some on the political scene because that's the biggest thing in the news right now. There's a guy I've been watching a lot of. I think his name's Brian Tyler Cohen. You may have heard of him. He does a lot of short videos which are easy to consume, but obviously he's, you know, left. But I don't know, some of these interviews that these comedian shows do at like MAGA rallies and all that, just makes you scratch your head at some of these people. Do I have a place to post links? You know what? Let me shoot you guys my email. All right. So I'm gonna give you a different email. I do have a second channel that I've kind of started. I actually just uploaded a video there today. It's not reactions at all. It's more photography related, travel related, maybe some gear reviews. I did a review today, actually, so I'm gonna give you that email. If I spelt it right, Nate's Narratives. Yeah, it's called Nate's Narratives at gmail.com. So if you look up Nate's Narratives on YouTube, I think I have 3 videos up right now. So those are going to be more of creative, I guess, not just a reaction. I wanted to separate the two because I know a lot of people, you know, they go to a channel and they expect to watch one thing, and then if a lot of other videos start popping up, then it steers them away, and then I can throw off the whole YouTube thing. You know how it is. I just want to keep them separate. That way, Nate's Narratives, I have a website that goes along with that, natesnarratives.com, that I can do blog posts, and you know, at some point I'd like to share my photography and maybe offer prints for sale or things like that. So if you want to shoot an email or anything to that email, that would be great. Reaction to U.S. shelters for animals. I don't know that I could do that, to be perfectly honest with you, because I don't know that I could get through an entire video without breaking down completely, because it's sad. It's really, really sad. But I will keep that in mind. Any kind of video. I'm interested in really anything. I like Germany videos just because I like Germany, and that's where we're moving. But you know, if there's something about some other country or even a completely different topic, you know, I'm really open to just about anything. Yeah, I can see your point there about Brian Tyler Cohen being a little alarmist. That's true, but I think a lot of it is truth. You know, I mean, last week tonight. I have seen last week tonight, but yeah. Oh, it gets blocked in Germany, does it? Alright. I do have a VPN here, although I forget that I have it turned on sometimes, and I'll go to a website and then I think my internet's down because it won't load the page. So then I have to, oh yeah, VPN's on. I'm out of coffee, but hey, check it out for you folks over there. Betsa, yeah, the Red Devils, although my cup's empty. Good thing I have a beer. Hey Marcus, how's it going? Yeah, VPNs are nice to have. We got one here, one for the security, but two, so we could pretend we were in Germany to get different content that you can't get over here. So kind of works the same way. Yeah, shocking events are always a good thing to react to. Vet and Das, that I think I've seen that. It sounds very familiar. Um, it's something else I'm trying to work on. Uh, we're gonna go back to Germany in October, like I said. So I'm really trying to up my German game. I still don't feel very comfortable speaking at all, but my wife and I text in German a lot, and she speaks it sometimes. We'll go back and forth a little bit, but I really need to buckle down and learn, because I told her I want to be able to sit and have conversations with her family when we get over there, or be able to go out and speak. I hate feeling like I have to or speak English when I'm in a foreign country. You know what I mean? You should learn some. I mean, granted, if you're just going for vacation for a few weeks, learn a few phrases. Like when we went to Greece, um, it was last summer. We actually learned a few phrases in Greece, like or in Greek, like thank you, you're welcome, hello, good morning. Just simple phrases like that, just to show the people that you aren't that stuck up American that thinks everybody needs to speak English, and they would smile and give the greeting back. It was a lot of fun, and but definitely people who move need to learn the language. Vet and Das isn't airing anymore. I know I've heard of it. Um, true crime coverings. Yeah, Dutch. That would be that would be a fun language to learn too. I'm envious of these polyglots that's all they do is just study languages and can speak like five or more languages. I think that would be a lot of fun. I mean, it's a lot of work. I've been married to a German for 26 years and I'm still not fluent. So maybe there's no hope. But I'm trying. I'm trying. But I am really ready for fall to get here. Um, I was out doing a review on a bag, and it was 7:30 in the morning, and it was almost 90 degrees already. I am not liking it anymore. This weather here is stupid. So hot. I don't know if you can hear. It's not on right now, but if you hear something in the background, I have a. You can see the tubing right here. Is a portable AC unit just for my office, because this room gets so hot. I have my computers in here and all that. Um, but yeah, 9 o'clock and it's 90 degrees, or 8 o'clock and it's 90 degrees. I'm over it. Uh, this will be the first time we're going back to Germany, that's not in the summer for a while. We typically, obviously, being a teacher, my wife has the summers off, so that's when we take our vacations. I think the last time we went outside of summer was, man, we were still living in Wyoming, so we've been here 13 years, probably 16, 17 years, and we went over for Christmas and New Year's. So I'm really excited to get back over there in the fall. I think October is going to be a nice time. crisp weather. I'll be able to take some pants and a sweater, that sort of thing. Just get out of this heat. I don't know. I'm almost thinking now I would rather be cold than hot. It used to be the other way around. I couldn't stand being cold. But Wyoming is brutal cold. That's like 20 below zero Fahrenheit. And that's just stupid too. So I'm the other extreme, being in the desert. I want somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle. Man, it's almost 11 and it's 23 Celsius. That's a bit warm for being 10:30. You speak Danish, English, and German. That's cool. I mean, if there were languages that I could pick to just know, I took Spanish in high school, but it was more Mexican Spanish, not Spanish. I would like to know Spanish more. Obviously German. I think just the big ones, just like the core, if foundation, if you will. French, because if you know some of those, you can really get a lot of mileage out of those languages. They actually offered Russian in my senior year in high school. That would have been a kind of a cool language to take. But just the big ones, just so I could hop around, maybe Italian, Latin base, that might be easy after Spanish, but Oktoberfest. Hi, Steve. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. No, not doing Oktoberfest. I think it's over by the time we'll be there. I think, or it'll be close, right? I think it goes into the first week of October. Because one thing people here don't realize, that Oktoberfest is, the majority of it takes place in September, not October. I went there once when I was stationed in Germany, and it was the worst weekend to go. We didn't plan it very well, so it was the very last weekend of Oktoberfest, which is not a good time to go. And then they happened to be having a Bayern home game against Bayern 1860. So it was the inner city rivalry Bundesliga game at the same time as October. It was a nightmare. We took a train, no seating room. I think we sat on the floor or stood. Obnoxious Bayern fans everywhere. And then we stood in line for an hour and didn't move an inch trying to get into one of the beer tents. We didn't realize that you should reserve a table a year in advance. So I looked at my wife and I said, I can't stand here anymore. Let's go. So I think we might be the only people in history to go to Oktoberfest and not drink a beer, because we didn't. We went to Hofbrauhaus and got a table there and had, our beer there. But I would be willing to give it one more shot if it's not the last weekend and Bayern isn't playing a home game. Then I think I could handle it. Yeah, there will be some beer in Germany. Actually, I have a German beer stein. Oh, this isn't a stein. This is a beer glass. Oh, my glass is chipped. But this is an American beer. It is a local, though, microbrew. It's not Budweiser. It's our favorite beer over here. It's called Kill Lifter. I know what they're saying. That's funny. You know, I took Reinheitsgebot. Yes. People here are dumbfounded by the fact that there was a law, you know, because the microbrews here, it just gets so out of hand with these IPA flavors. I am not an IPA fan whatsoever. I don't want my beer tasting like flowers. And there's a brewery right next door to the meadery that I always go to, and they literally make beer with cereal, with like Fruit Loops and just neon green colored nasty, you know. I just no. The darker the better for me. But there are a few places here that sell or serve authentic, good German beer, the Weizen beers. But nobody here knows how to pronounce it. It drives me nuts. It's either Hefeweizen or this place on Monday nights where I go, they call it Hef. I'm like, Hefe. There's an E at the end. I was like, whatever. And they just look at me like I'm stupid. Hefeweizen. Like, well, I guess if you don't know, you don't know, right? So I shouldn't give them too much grief. But you should probably learn how to pronounce a beer if it comes from a different country. Although we change words all the time into the American version of it. The Christmas box, those aren't too bad. Are you the only German not liking any beer? No, I'm sure there's others out there. You know, I never was a beer drinker either. I drank the hard stuff, which I still do, but nothing beats a good German beer for me, or you know, a Polish beer or something like that. But mead, we drink a lot of mead. Really like that, but that's more like wine. You know, I mean, it's honey wine, obviously, so you get a lot of flavors that way. So I can do the flavors in the mead. I don't want flavors in my beer. Well, not that kind of flavor. But it has to have more flavor than Busch or Bud or Coors. The German last name counts. That counts. Real coffee. See, now I do coffee, but people would probably think I'm weird. You know, I don't do black. I don't do black coffee. So to some, that's not real coffee, which I get. I gotta put some creamer in my coffee. I don't do black. But I'm not a huge coffee person. I have 2 cups, I think, when I get home from work. Well, so I have to get up at 4 a.m. to be at work by 5:30. I'm at the warehouse till about 8 maybe, and then I get to come home the rest of the day. So when I get home, I'll have a couple cups of coffee, and then that's it for me for the day. Cocktails are good. I'm not a big pina colada person because I don't like pineapple and coconut and that thing. The hard Radler stuff. Yeah. Although, you know, Radler in the summertime is really good because it's refreshing. That was the point of that drink to begin with, wasn't it? It was to be a refreshing drink. So the ciders here, like a hard apple cider, that sort of thing, in the summertime is really good. Drinking beer in the summer here is tough, unless it's a light beer because it's so heavy. Nice, tasty cocktail. I'm with you. Uh, yeah, I have to disgrace coffee to be able to drink it. I understand that. But my all-time favorite cocktail is an old fashioned. I'm a sucker for old fashioned. And what's funny is that I was never a big whiskey bourbon guy. I mean, back in the military, Jack and Coke was my go-to, but I drank so I can't even smell it now. It's just nasty. So give me a good bourbon, old fashioned, and I'm happy. I'm happy. Um, and I have a smoker, so I can put cedar chips or apple wood chips and smoke it, and oh, it's delicious. So I do that every once in a while. But yeah, hard cider is nice, refreshing, not so heavy on the stomach. I think that's where a lot of the problem comes in, is too much for in this when it's 115 degrees outside. Beer's not the best thing. You've never had an old fashioned. You should try it. I mean, if you're a whiskey bourbon kind of person, because if not, then I don't recommend it. Yes, I do absolutely prefer smoky wooden tones. I love a smoked, the mead that we drink sometimes. There's some that are they make it in old whiskey barrels, so you get that under the notes of the old whiskey charred barrel. Oh, if I can do this and smell the smoke, I'm gonna enjoy it. Yeah, aged stuff like whiskey. Yes. Yes. I love the smoke flavor. uh, yeah, Starbucks. My wife likes Starbucks. I don't do hot coffee at Starbucks. I'll do their caramel macchiato, and that's about all that I can take. Coffee is coffee. Although, my wife's sister, they have a cappuccino machine or espresso machine or whatever you want to call it. I'll do that. I don't mind that at all. That's good with a little froth, foam, milk froth on it. That's good. But you can't have too much. Just 1 cup. Yeah, I like the sipping kind of do well as a pirate. I don't know. I don't like water that much. I don't want to be on a boat. Can I be a land pirate? I can be a land pirate. I like the water if I can reach. Sounds stupid because I'm scuba certified, right? So I go out and I dive 30 feet down in the middle of ocean or lake or whatever. But being on a boat out in the ocean where you can't see land for days, I don't know. I don't think I could do that. Don't think I could do that. Cheese. Am I into cheese? As long as it doesn't smell like dirty feet, I can do cheese. Yeah, if you could find a place that roasts their own coffee, that would be the best. Fresh beans, freshly roasted. I would love to try some of that. Sky Pirate. Yeah. A few years ago, I did a private. What do you call it? Like a introductory flight. What is that? What was it called? Anyway, I got to go up one-on-one with a pilot in a little like Cessna, and fly a little bit, because I was thinking at the time, it was right after I got my drone license, because I was learning so much about piloting and radio signals and flight patterns and airport runway patterns, and I figured might as well just get my pilot's license while I'm at it. And I was still, that would be awesome. It's just really expensive, but we went up in a little plane. It was like a 45-minute flight, not very long, but I think the only thing that gets me, and it's not that I'm afraid, it's the feeling. It's like being on a roller coaster, right? But you can't see when you're gonna drop 3 feet or 10 feet out of the air and then come back up. So that initial stomach in your throat, I can't do that feeling, and in a small plane it's obvious. Luckily we had clear skies and no wind, but you're still doing this number. I don't know. I think I'll just keep my feet on the ground or scuba dive. You know what, Slav, I think, you're right. In general, I think anybody's products besides the U.S. products are going to be better. Here, there's so many additives and chemicals, and it's just not good at all. We do like natural shampoo and body wash and that sort of thing, and deodorant, like the aluminum free deodorant, but yes, I think in general, just about anything but something from the US is going to be better for you. And we don't use all-purpose household cleaners at all. We use like Thieves Clean, essential oil based from a company that's it's pure essential oil. It's not Amazon essential oil. So we buy from them, like laundry soap, cleaners like that, which do a better job cleaning, and you're not getting the bleach smell or that nasty chemical. Yeah, deep water. I don't know. I've seen Jaws too many times. But I'm drawn to it because part of it is scary. Part of it is that unknown. When we went to Greece, I got to scuba dive. I ordered myself a little scuba trip, and that was absolutely amazing because the water was so clear. The water temperature was perfect, and we were down 60 feet, and that's the limit that I can go under my certification, because I just have a basic scuba certification, not the advanced, and so 60 feet is my limit depth, and we were at 60 feet, and the water temperature was still like 75 Fahrenheit, clear. Fish, saw a octopus. It was absolutely magical. That I can do, like Caribbean, clear water. Although it is on my bucket list to dive with sharks. I want to go in a shark cage, so probably like South Africa, right, where all the great whites are. I think that would be a trip. And then a huge one on my bucket list is to dive in, I think it's in Iceland, so obviously it would be a dry suit situation, not a wetsuit, but there's a point in, I believe it's Iceland, where you can touch 2 tectonic plates, so you can touch like 2 continents basically. I think that would be just mind-blowing. Dive with some orcas, and yeah, that would be a trip. Yeah, motion. That's the biggest thing for me on boats is the motion sickness, and I think that's part of the problem I have with planes too. Is just the motion sickness. I do take Dramamine when we fly, and that helps a little bit. Uh, yeah, might as well get my pilot's license. You know, I've always had an interest though in my Alexa just went off. I've always had an interest in, you know, piloting and planes. So why not, right? So Korean YouTubers said the coffee tastes like toilet water, huh? Ugh. Yeah, microplastics, because as long as they smell good. Hockenheim. I've been to Hockenheim. All right, I will keep that in mind. I went to Hockenheim. I believe it was Hockenheim. There's a Formula One track in Hockenheim, right? When I was stationed over there, saw our neighbor won 2 tickets to some drag racing, and I believe it was Hockenheim. So she asked if I wanted to take her son. So we went and saw some pro drag racing. It was pretty sweet. But I believe that was in Hockenheim. Yeah. All right. That was the place. Yeah. That was pretty cool. It was, you know, the top fuel dragsters. They had bikes there. Then the little kids would race. All right, Thorium. Thank you for joining. Like I said, I will be in Germany in October from the 8th through the 21st, and I will be in Berlin that first weekend. So 8th, like what did I say, the 10th through the 12th, I will be in Berlin. Let me check. No, 11, 12, 13. So Friday through Sunday, I should be in Berlin, but every other time I will be down near Kaiserslautern. That last weekend we're there, I am busy. That is my niece's, or my wife's niece, our niece's wedding, which is the reason why we're going. So hope to see you again, and thanks for joining us. Drank from a natural spring in Iceland. So that was probably, I mean, that's like pure water at that point, right? Oh yeah, I'll be doing a lot of video well, I say that now. You know, I still have video from our trip last year. Haven't put anything out there yet, but I took video. But yes, I will be making some videos for sure in Berlin, because this other guy, I don't know if you know who he is here on YouTube, but it's Seth. What's his he lives in Berlin. He's an American. He does some vlog style stuff. Big history buff. But we're gonna hook up in Berlin, and I'll do a video from that for sure, and then maybe any other little trips that I take. And hopefully this time I'll actually stay on top of, you know, editing and posting, because I didn't last year. And thank you. Yes, our niece, they're technically already married. They got married in May, but they had their that was, I guess, the legal ceremony in northern Germany on the coast. And so now this one is kind of for everybody who couldn't make the first one, basically. Yeah, straight out of an underground water deposit. You're going thousands of kilometers away while I'm going to be there. Well, that's a bummer. Well, you have fun as well. I'm going to have fun. It's always a trip going back to Germany. I'm always torn because I'm excited, really excited to go, and then the time comes to come back, and then it's not so fun anymore because I have to come back. It's like reverse culture shock. I have more culture shock coming back to the United States than I do going to Germany. Yeah, this is the family hoedown. They're actually doing the ceremony or the wedding in the same town that my wife and I got married in. Different location, but same town. Yeah, it's going to be a good time. I'm really excited. I mean, it's 2 months away, but 2 months is going to go by quick, I know. And it's always hard for me to get on that plane to come home, that's for sure. I keep telling everybody that they better, hope that I make my flight back, because I might miss my plane. It wouldn't be the end of the world. It's going to be a lot of fun. The worst shock of going to Germany or coming back to the U.S.? It's hard for me to remember what the worst shock was going to Germany. That was a long time ago. That was a long time ago. That was 1996. I think the biggest shock at that point was just I was 20 years old in a foreign country and had no idea and in the military, no clue what was going on. And that's exactly the way I feel about Germany. Is I feel more at home over there than I do here. Okay, so Carson, answering your question, the biggest shock I think going over there, like I said, was just the unknown. I had been to Spain in high school as a foreign exchange student for a summer program, so it was like 6 weeks in the summer, which was perfect. So I'd had a little taste of Europe. But then when I left with the military, it was just a combination of being in the military, 20 years old, foreign country, not speaking the language, not knowing anybody at first, your typical big shocks. But I think maybe the biggest cultural shock was, again, this has been a long time ago, probably just the culture, like, if this is a good enough answer, the culture in general, just maybe how standoffish Germans were, or how I perceived them, coming from a small town in Wyoming where, you wave to strangers, you smile, make eye contact, and then going somewhere where it felt really cold. That was probably the biggest shock. I don't think that's a fair answer either, because I was in the military, so I was in a completely different mindset in the military than I am now. So unfortunately, back then in the military, you're conditioned to think that you are the best and everybody else is below you. It's very unfortunate, but that's the truth. And so I feel like I didn't get a true sense of where I was for a long time, just because I was in that mindset You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Um, and then I guess culture shock's coming back here. It's just how everybody is so uptight and so in a hurry to get somewhere, do something. I mean, nobody takes the time to just slow down, enjoy what you have, enjoy where you are. Whereas in Germany, I feel like a lot of times you can, and it might just be where I've been in Germany, but the people just seem to be more relaxed, more chill. They aren't so uptight. They aren't always in a hurry to go nowhere. Now, granted, maybe that takes place in larger cities like Berlin and Munich and those places because of the sheer number of people. But in general, it's here. Everybody's so uptight and in your face about their opinions. I think one of the biggest differences I've noticed over the years is that in the United States, it's nothing for somebody to come up to you and start talking politics. As a matter of fact, today I went out to a little park downtown because I was going to do a video, and a guy was walking his dog. We said hi, whatever, and ended up chatting for a little bit, and he immediately went into, he's a Trump supporter, and I'm like, dude, I didn't ask, and I frankly don't care. But that doesn't happen in Germany as far as I know, wherever I've been. That's a private matter. Same with religion. We get people knocking on our door wanting to talk to us about the Bible. Like, look, that's private. That's my choice, my belief. Why do you feel like you have to sell religion door to door? And I think that's a big difference too. So those are kind of, I guess, I hope I answered your question. Greetings from Austria and a slow Prost. There you go. Eccentric people, yes. We do have a lot of that. You have to eat many bushels of salt together. That doesn't sound very good at all. But I completely understand. I get it. And here, I wish there was like a middle ground. I completely understand the German point of view of not opening up to everybody right away. I get it. Totally understand. And in here, it's like if I go to the gas station or go to a convenience store or go somewhere, and then the clerk wants to just blah blah blah, I'm like, dude, I frankly don't give a shit. I'm here to buy what I need and get out. So I think I worked with a guy once who he believed in some really off the wall things. One of which was reincarnation, and he told me once that he believed that in a previous life I was German, and that's why I feel such a strong connection to Germany. And I'm not saying he's wrong. It just was kind of out there. But I, like you said earlier about the Netherlands. When I try to explain to people here the feeling I have when I go to Germany, it's hard to put into words, but I end up just telling them that when I get off the plane in Germany, I feel like I'm coming home. And when I get back on to come here, I feel like I'm leaving home temporarily. Makes sense? I told that to my grandma once, and she said, well, I have that same exact feeling for Sheridan, Wyoming, where I'm from. I said, so it's just So you get it. It's just a feeling. It's just a feeling you have. You can't explain it. You can't put it into words for somebody to understand if they've never had that feeling. For me, I feel such a strong connection. Maybe some of it has to do with my wife and having family there, but I don't think that's the whole story. Because even before we met, I started to realize, this. Granted, I wanted to come back because that was the first time being away from home for that long a time, so I was homesick, and being in the military as well had a part in it. But I feel like that's where I belong. That's where I'm supposed to be. I mean, I can't put it in any other words than that. And granted, I know a lot of the feeling I get when I go over there is, I'm on vacation. That has something to do with it because I don't have any responsibilities. I don't have to get up and go to work. I don't have to pay bills over there. I'm still paying bills over here, but I don't have those normal responsibilities that somebody would have living over there. So I get it. There's the aspect of being on vacation. But it's more than that. It's deeper than that. It's when I go out and walk around, I feel like that's it. This is home. I don't know that my mom understands it completely. I think she gets upset when I talk about it. Obviously, she doesn't want her son to move, 6,000 miles away with her grandbabies, even though they're not babies anymore. But, that's just, home is where the heart is. And I look sick, maybe tired. I don't know. I'm fine. Although my wife did just have COVID for the second time. So hopefully I don't have it. I got lost with the comments. Welcome back. Thank you, Kiwi Glenn. Appreciate it. Best way to go is to be chill about getting nowhere. Yes. Here, and I live in Phoenix, Arizona, so maybe not the best place to compare, because people here are stupid. They have no patience. They're rude. I hate this place. Would I be interested in reacting to more philosophical videos? Absolutely. I love philosophy. That was one of my favorite courses in Germany, in college, was philosophy. I love the thought process behind all of that. So yeah, anything like that. I'm curious, ever asked why U.S. people always say I'm German, I'm Dutch? Is it because they have no own culture, or what's the reason for this moving out of these countries? Must be 100 years ago. I think that has a lot to do with it, as a matter of fact, Karsten. I think because we're such a big melting pot of a bunch of different ancestries, right? So me personally, I have, still to this day, I have family in Scotland. So the majority of my bloodline, it's like 50%, 40% is Scottish. And I have Irish, German, so, and then my birth father, his grandparents, I think, were from Czech, so Eastern European. So I think a lot of that is, stems from their bloodline. On the other hand, I feel like a lot of people, I don't know, I think the idea of being European appeals to them more. They can't settle for just being a U.S. citizen. They have to say, I'm French, or I'm German, and I'm English. You know, it sounds more fancy, I guess. I think that has a lot to do with it as well. But I think, you know, because the United States was founded on immigrants moving here from other places, that there isn't that sense of culture unless you're Native American. You know, then that's who you know are, obviously. But yeah, I've thought about that a lot, actually, that people here, I'm German. So when I introduce my wife to people and I said, well, she's German, sometimes, more often than not, the first question they ask is, well, does she speak German? I said, yes, she's German. Like, English is her second language. I mean, I have to explain the whole scenario to them because they're so accustomed to Americans saying they're German or whatever. When I say my wife's German, they assume, I think, that she's just German ancestry. So yeah, I think that comes from, you know, people just having distant relatives from somewhere else. Yeah, public transportation in inner city America is something to see, for sure. Um, I think that's a lot to do with any major city, though, to be perfectly honest with you, because I've been to Frankfurt in the middle of the night, and there was some weird stuff going on, you know. So it's not just here in inner city America, it's inner city worldwide. Blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. That makes sense. Yeah, politics is a conversation starter, um, unfortunately. But you know, I personally, I don't want to say I don't care what their politics are, but I didn't ask. So I mean, that's a personal thing. I don't like talking politics with a lot of people. For one thing, here right now anyway, you can never have a uh, how do you want to say it, a mature conversation about it. It gets heated and can get heated quickly because people are so opinionated and so quick to judge and so reluctant to change their mind or admit when they're wrong about something. So it's better to just to not. But I think you need to, because people need to be educated about the truth, about what's really going on, so that they can make better decisions when it comes time for voting, you know. Yeah, thinking some people wanting somewhere to belong, I think has a lot to do with it too. Um, yes, it's been a while. I am back. Hey, Chris. Yeah, thank you. Hopefully, I can get back into some of those reactions again. Um, yeah, I'll try. I'll try. I'm doing another channel too, and you know that one probably will be a little longer getting going, just because there's more creativity behind those videos. It's not just a reaction video, but I will continue to do reaction videos because I enjoy doing them as well. Yeah, people do feel that way, I think. But then at the same time, they are proud to be an American. That really bothers me because there's North America, there's South America. How many countries are in the Americas? But we are the Americans. We're the North Americans from the United States. Uh, they're all proud to be an American too, but then they'll say I'm German. Okay, Germany might be losing in that comparison, but still. Yeah, people here should be proud to be where they're from, you know. But it's so polarized right now that unless you are pro-gun, pro-life, pro-Christian, then you're a patriot. Then you love your country. If you aren't any of those, then you're scum. Then you hate your country. I've been told more than once that I must hate my country because I'm so critical of it. And I want to tell people that that's the exact opposite. I love my country, which is why I'm so critical of it, because I want the best for my country. I want the best for everybody within its borders. Everybody. Not just people who look like me or people who think like me, believe what I believe. And people don't get it. If you're not a patriot, if you don't like it, move. I get that so much. If you don't like it, move. Well, that to me tells me that you are unwilling to have a discussion. You're unwilling to see things from a different point of view. You're telling me if I don't think and act and believe the way you do, then I don't belong here. And to those people, I say kiss my ass. I am moving. I am leaving. Because I just can't take it anymore. But that doesn't mean I don't love my country. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that. I will be getting back into it. It's not just family time and whatnot. It's, a whole host of things. And then I got into a habit of not doing a video, which was easier to do than trying to get one done. And I rearranged my office. Hopefully that would spark some motivation, creativity, whatever. So I'm kind of in a different area, move some stuff around. My wife's desk is back over here now. You can see it there. So hopefully this will help with spurring some motivation, creativity, and whatnot. It's not done yet. I actually removed a lot of stuff that I have to bring back in and sort and put away. So there will be coming back out again, hopefully soon. Was it even possibly all? Hey, that's a great question. I don't know. I don't know how you're pro-Christian, pro-life, pro-gun. How can you be a Christian and support Trump? Beats the hell out of me. Because they aren't true Christians. Because they are evangelical Christians who worship themselves, worship a false idol, yet they tell you how to live your life, tell you how to make your choices. That's why I'm not religious. And you're right. it won't happen if a certain ex-president gets into power. That's why we need to do everything we can to make sure that doesn't happen. And I don't know that you were in the room yet or watching yet when I said that this is the first time in 8 years that I've had a little sense of hope with the election. It's still an uphill battle. It's still going to be close, even though I don't want to admit it. But yeah, Carson, yes, I do and am going to move permanently to Germany next year. Next summer is the plan. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done with living here. And it's not because I hate the place. It's not because I'm giving up on it. But there comes a time in your life where you have to just make the choice that's better for you and your family. And that is our choice. You know, I love the United States. I was in the U.S. military. Proud of it. Grateful for all the opportunities I've had, but it's time to move on. Time to leave. Yeah. That's exactly right, Slav. If the United States is a great place to live if you are rich. If you have money, if you don't have to worry about bills, if you don't have to worry about rent, great place to live. If you have to worry about any of those things, it sucks. Not saying there's any perfect place, but it's hard to wrap my head around how much we don't care about people here. Sad. Makes me sick. Yeah, if you're and then if you lose your job, you're freeloading. You know, why do I have to pay taxes for somebody who's not working? Yeah, brainwashed. It's exactly what it is. There's so much propaganda going on that, you know, they can't think for themselves anymore. Media doesn't help at all because they just spit lies left and right. And I don't care what media source that is. They're all guilty of it. Some worse than others. But it's all biased. It's, you know, and the thing, we have this show, it's called World News Tonight. Nothing world news about it. They might mention one thing that happened outside the United States. Everything else is with it. I'm like, what world news? Like, you didn't show me anything going on in Poland right now, or anything going on in the Czech, or Australia, or any other country. It's within the borders. So how are you going to call it world news? Has nothing to do with. It's like the World Series. My wife always bitches about that when World Series comes around. It's like, why is it called the World Series when the U.S. is the only country playing in it? You got a point. I have no idea. Because they got to make it sound better? I don't know. Oh yeah, we got to worry about all the people taking the black jobs. Yeah, that's, these millions of people taking our jobs and voting illegally and not paying taxes, which is impossible. Yes, a few might slip through and be able to do. I don't. The fear mongering here is just, it blows my mind. And then how many people believe it, actually believe it? But they'll tell you, you need to do more research, because that's the truth. Like, where'd you do your research from? You watched Trump at one of his stupid rallies, so then you took his word for it. That's your research. Leaving marks, yes. You've missed quite a bit, actually. Where do we want to start? Talked about politics, talked about my brain surgery, talked about concerts, talked about moving back to Germany. Exactly. That's what I tell them all the time when they say they're taking our jobs. It's like, what? You mean you applied to be a field worker out here in the desert heat in the summertime? You applied and you didn't get it, but this guy did? Yeah, okay. You know what? If they all stopped working and we shipped them all back over the border, good luck finding any produce. Good luck finding any food put on your table, because that's what they're doing. They aren't taking your corporate job. They aren't even working at Walmart, so they aren't taking your door greeter job. That's a good thing to know, that nobody in Australia believes. You know, it's amazing how many people do believe every word that comes out of his mouth. Yeah, unfortunately, I believe you're right. A lot of similarities in global history. People don't see it. They don't, or they do see it and they don't want to see it. They don't want to admit it. I think that might be a lot of the issue as well. They might realize that they're wrong or have been lied to, but they just don't want to admit being wrong. So they'll just ride the lie, until it's over. I don't know. And again, no place is perfect, but there's a hell of a lot better places in here at the moment. Yeah, luckily, I didn't pay a dime for any of my surgeries. Thanks to the military, thanks to the VA. But I had to serve to be able to get that benefit. And there's a lot of people who couldn't serve, didn't want to, that don't get that benefit and would have had to pay for the surgery. So I'm grateful for that, because I've been getting all the bills. It's from like the VA. I get like a bill statement. Basically, it's not a bill for me to pay, but and we are well over $100,000. It's probably close to $200,000 by now. For everything that I've had done. And then I look at the itemization of each thing, and it's just like $5,000 to stay in the hospital a night or what. I don't know the exact, don't quote me on these numbers, I'm just making it up, but it's ridiculous. Anesthesia, the dude comes in, pumps you once and gets paid 5 figures. A night in the hospital, one shot, ibuprofen, where all of it's listed, and it's probably approaching $200,000. But thankfully, I didn't have to pay for it. Yeah, there's a lot to say about the U.S. healthcare, or lack thereof. Yeah, we are doomed to repeat history. Because I don't think we're learning anything from it. Yeah, we are brought up to believe that the U.S. is the greatest country in the world. And I don't know why. I don't know why that has to be a thing, you know? Why does there have to be a best? Um, I don't understand why that had to. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yes, the Black Forest is absolutely beautiful. I've driven through it many times, but I haven't ever like stopped and explored within the Black Forest area. I would love to do that. This trip, I probably won't get the chance, but that will definitely be something that I will be doing once we get over there permanently. Is making a trip down there for a while. Um, I would love to go in the wintertime, to a lot of these places as well, the Alps and that sort of thing. America's the world, no one else matters. That's why it's the World Series. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, anesthesia is black magic, unless they do it wrong. Unless they do it wrong and you are paralyzed, but you're not asleep. Man, those stories always freak me out because I've had so many surgeries, um, that I don't even think about it, much. It's like people freak out about surgery, which they have a right to. It's a big deal. I'm not saying it's not a big deal, but I've had so many that it's yeah, there's always risk, obviously, but I don't freak out about it. But then I hear these stories of the person not really being asleep and, just being paralyzed, but being able to feel everything just freaks me out. Like, no, no, no. Carson, you hear the background? So the background noise, is it is it too much? Because what it is it's the I have another AC unit right here, but I can definitely shut it off for right now if it's too much. I wasn't sure if that would be um, a lot of background noise. So let me know and I can turn it off for sure. I have not um, visited your beautiful country, Kiwi. Either of them down there. I don't know which one are you. Are you? You're a Kiwi. Is that? I'm gonna sound like a stupid American. I don't want to get it wrong. Uh, Australia, right? That's Kiwi. I haven't. I would love to. That's on the bucket list. I'd love to. What I'm not looking forward to though is the plane ride because I hear it's like forever. I don't want to be on a plane forever. Um, but I would love to go down, and see Australia. got a bill from an ambulance less than a mile of the hospital. It's $780. That's nothing. You get a ambulance bill here and it's 1,000, or so I'm told. I've never been in an ambulance in the U.S. I don't think. I got the privilege of riding in an ambulance in Germany. That was kind of a culture shock. I didn't realize that they send a doctor separate. So they send like a doctor to your house, and he kind of determines whether or not you need an ambulance, right? And if you do, they'll call one. If not, then he takes care of whatever he needs to. I didn't realize that. So I had an appendectomy in Germany. My appendix didn't burst, but it started leaking, which wasn't as painful, thankfully, but it was just as deadly because it was slowly poisoning me. But I got violently ill one night. It was a Wednesday. I remember like it was yesterday because I just talked to my mom on the phone. I had been to work. I felt great. Everything was fine. I went to bed and I woke up at like, must have been 3 a.m, sicker than a dog, like violently sick. And I thought, wow, that's not cool. My first thought was food poisoning. So I was like, okay, that was rough. So I go back to bed. 30 minutes later, I get up and I do it again. Both ends, just back and forth. By 6 a.m., my wife finally came into the bathroom and I was hugging the toilet, and I was shaking. My whole body was just shaking. And she said, "Are you okay?" And I immediately said, "No, I am not. You need to call an ambulance because this is not normal food sickness behavior. I've never felt this in my life." And so she did. She called, and what they did at that point, because it was such an emergency at that point, they sent the doctor and the ambulance at the same time. And I think maybe they just sent the ambulance. I don't remember because I was out of it. They helped me down the stairs because we were on the 3rd floor and put me in the ambulance. And I remember on the way to the hospital, I was going to get sick again. The poor ambulance dudes, the medics in there, didn't speak any English at all. And I was trying to tell him, "Hey, I'm going to throw up again. I am going to get sick." And he just looking at me like, "I don't know what you're saying." I was like, ugh, like holding my hand out. And he's like, "Oh, I don't have anything for you to throw up in." So he gave me like it looked like a pie pan. I mean, it was very shallow. And I was like, all right. Luckily, by then, I had nothing else in me, So we got to the hospital, and I had surgery that day. But I do remember the ambulance drivers talking to my wife, though, because she followed them to the hospital. And they actually told her, it gave her a business card for a different hospital and said, "Look, if you have a choice in the future, don't go to this hospital. Go to a different one." They had to take me there because that's, I guess, where they were contracted from, or to, or with, or whatever. It was some legal thing. They had to take me to this one. It was a great paternity or maternity hospital, but I wasn't pregnant. Whole experience. I had complications after surgery. I got an infection on my intestine, so I was sick for another 2 weeks. Never left the hospital. An appendectomy is like a 3-day thing in Germany. At least that's what I was told. It's like because there was a kid in my room, like 10 or 11 years old, who just had the operation done, and he was fine, and he got to leave. I'm like, no big deal. Yeah, 2 weeks later, I had a 104-degree temperature, fever, didn't use the bathroom for 2 weeks, or a week. It was a week. And they were going to airlift me to Heidelberg because they had no clue what was going on. And then finally they gave me an ultrasound and found the infection on my intestines. So then they wheeled me back down to surgery. So then I spent an extra week in the hospital. Whole ordeal. Middle of August, no AC. I missed my son's first steps as a toddler. Ah, what a trip. Yeah, it must be nice. It doesn't cost you anything for, if I was if I had to pay for all the stuff that I've had to, I would be bankrupt. I would be in debt for the rest of my life. Well, that's good to know. If the plane trip isn't that bad, maybe I've heard horror stories about it. All right, yeah, the doctor comes in a separate car. Got it. Okay, so when my father-in-law, um, so that's kind of what happened with him. So my wife's dad passed away, and before he did, when he was at home, they called the hospital. They sent a doctor first. Doctor said, "Look, I don't think he needs to go to the hospital right now, but keep an eye on him. If anything changes, call us again. We'll just immediately send the ambulance." So, yeah, instead of dispatching an ambulance first and then not needing it, you know. Oh, the system with the separate doctor was founded in Heidelberg. No? Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of people that, if you have a chronic condition or something like that, um, it's hard to survive here because it just gets so expensive. If you need medications on a monthly basis for the rest of your life, you're going to be spending that money forever. Oh, nice. All right. So you, Rammstein and Heidelberg. So my wife is from Oberammbach, so I'm sure you know where that's at. If you know Rammstein, um, I was stationed in Baumholder, so that's how we met, and so we were at Rammstein a lot. I was always envious of the Air Force because they always had the nice stuff, and we had the condemned, falling apart stuff. But Heidelberg is very beautiful. I love Heidelberg. Um, I actually went there last time we were in Germany and met some folks. I don't have, excuse me, wrong pipe. I don't have an arthritic back, but I've had two back surgeries. So I understand the back pain, um, and I will never not have back pain, I don't think. So I feel bad for you, but I'm glad that you don't have to worry about the doctor's bills that go along with that. It's probably a huge relief. there are going to be a lot of things that we're going to need to get used to once we move back. It's kind of ironic, actually, talking about this now, because just earlier today, my wife was out doing a little bit of shopping, just picking up a few things, and she texted me that she was getting some hay for our rabbit. And she got home and she's like, never mind, they don't open until 9 o'clock, and I'm not sitting in a car for, an hour waiting, and why aren't they open, and blah, blah. And I looked at her, it's like, you realize that in less than a year, we're moving to a country where very few places are open at all on Sunday, and you're complaining they aren't open early enough on Sunday. She said, yeah, I know. It's like, well, we're gonna have to. She's like, it's gonna be getting some used to. She really hated Sundays when we lived over there, just because felt like you couldn't do anything. But there's so much to do on a weekend. You don't have to spend money, take a drive somewhere. I think that's where I really messed up when I was in the military, is I didn't take advantage of where I was. I was more interested in going out partying, going to the clubs, getting drunk, going to parties, than traveling, than sightseeing, than taking advantage of being centrally located in Europe, So I have a lot of catching up to do once we move over there, because I really want to take advantage of the time that we'll have over there, and not go out to the clubs 3 or 4 times a week. I'm too old for that anyway, but you don't have to spend money to have a good time on the weekend. If things are closed on Sunday, you take a drive somewhere, go take a walk somewhere. I mean, I'm getting back into photography again, so I can't wait to actually travel around a little bit and take the pictures that I never got a chance to take while I was over there. Matter of fact, there's my camera right here. So that is going to be something I'm looking forward to quite a bit. Because when I was stationed over there and lived over there, digital cameras were they were new, and they were only about 3 megapixels. So nothing like they are today. That could be a nice reaction topic, actually. A non-emergency and then an emergency. Here, people want to complain a lot about the nationalized healthcare and how long the wait times are and how long you have to wait before you get an appointment and things like that. And the same thing happens here, and we're paying a lot more. Not the exact same, but with the VA, obviously I don't have to pay, but months in advance before I have an appointment, and unless it's an emergency, and then you just show up, but then you could sit in the emergency room for 3 or 4 hours before ever being seen. So I don't know why people always make that argument, because it's the same, yet we're paying so much more to have the same wait times, whereas I will wait and not have to pay, or pay a little bit to get seen sooner. You know what I mean? So I don't understand that argument. Free prescriptions with a chronic condition, that would be, that's literally a lifesaver, literally. Good thing I'm not on any lifetime prescriptions. But yeah, I think talking about prescription, it's going to be a big thing for me to try and get used to once we move over there, is even the small thing like Tylenol. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but in Germany, it's like you have a pharmacy, and that's where you get all that stuff, right? Whereas here, I can go anywhere. I can go to a gas station. I can go to Walgreens. I can go to Walmart. I can go to any other grocery store or Target or anything like that and buy medicine. I can buy Tylenol. I can buy Advil. I can buy allergy medication. But in Germany, I don't. You have to go through an actual pharmacy for all of that, right? You can't get even like Tylenol outside of a pharmacy, because if that's correct, then that's going to be something I will have to get used to, because I get headaches. Not super bad like migraine, need prescription medication, but I get headaches, and take Excedrin or Advil or something like that I can just run to the gas station and get like a bottle of 100 of them. Not at the gas station, they come in smaller bottles, but you know what I mean. I don't have to go to a pharmacy. So I'll have to think ahead then. Reaction times of ambulances are 7 to 10 minutes, starting from receiving the call at the dispatcher. I mean, it would have to be, because I mean that's life or death situation, right? So you can't be an hour too late at that point. Yes, and being closed on Sunday, that should be family time. That should be, resting, taking care of business, or doing what you enjoy. I think that was one of the biggest culture shocks for me moving over to Germany. Now that we're talking about it, is that like you could get in trouble, yelled at by your neighbor, like for even washing your car on Sunday, or maybe that is just where we were, but that was kind of a big shock. I think we are closing in on 2 hours. We are at 2 hours. So I'm going to have to say goodbye for now. For one, I really have to use the restroom. But I want to thank everybody truly for joining me today, because it's been a while, and I just wanted to kind of put this out there. I thought about doing a video about it, but I thought, you know what, let's just try and do something live, and I can talk to everybody who could make it. That I am still alive. I am doing well. I am recovering quite nicely from surgery. Everything's going good. I really don't have any excuses for not having reaction videos, besides just one, being a little bit lazy, and two, just not feeling the motivation or the inspiration, I guess, and not wanting to just put something out there just for the sake of, my light went out, just for the sake of putting something out there. So I truly am thankful for everybody, sticking around and bearing with me. I do plan on making more reaction videos, because that's what I enjoy doing, and you can expect to see more from me. So I think, oh, serious? You just got here and now I'm leaving, huh? Where were you 2 hours ago? I would stick around. I definitely would, but I really have to use the bathroom. So, and I want to apologize, and I can apologize publicly. I don't do phones very well. Whether it's my mom, my wife, my kids, doesn't matter. I hate the phone. So I apologize for not calling and whatever. I don't do phones. I think it was because I was a recruiter for 3 years and I had to make 400 cold calls every day, 6 days a week, that I hate telephones. I despise a phone. If I didn't have to have one, I wouldn't have one. But I do appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody. And, by the way, Rascal, since you're just joining, I will be in Germany October. I've had to look this up every time I said it. October 8th through the 21st. And I will be in Berlin Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 11th, 12th, and 13th. I will be unavailable the following weekend because that's the wedding for our niece. So not a whole lot of time there, but I will be going up to Berlin for a couple days. So, yeah, with that, I seriously am going to wet myself. So, thank you all so much for joining. I really do appreciate it. I love each and every one of you. I wish I could meet all of you at some point. If you're going to be in Germany in October over those dates, hit me up and we will go have a drink, sit and talk, do something. I'll be making more videos. And again, that other channel of mine, scroll back through the comments there, you'll find my email that is for the other channel. So if you have any recommendations for reactions or anything else you'd like me to do, just pop them in that email. I would be more than happy to read them. Yeah, we'll have to meet up once I'm over there. I don't have a lot of time this trip, but I will definitely make the most of it. Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. It'll be nice and cool finally this time while we're over there, not 90 degrees in the middle of summertime. So I'm looking forward to that. So, all right, guys, I really got to go. But thank you all very much for your support, for your kind wishes, for your kind comments, and yeah, we'll talk again soon. And I hope you all have a great weekend, great rest of your day, or great rest of your evening. So we will see you all later.